What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for another installment of my series, Ranked. Ranked is where I go through and, as the title would imply, rank from worst to best, in my opinion of course, an artist's studio albums from worst to best. And today up on the chopping block we have arguably the biggest star of the past decade or so, Taylor Swift. The pop queen has been reigning supreme for quite a while now, and with 6 studio albums under her belt, it was time that she got the ranked treatment. Of course, be sure to drop a like on this video. Keep in mind that it's all just my opinion. Don't get too mad. You're not gonna get mad at the guy in the Pizza Planet shirt, are you? I mean, come on. I'm cool, I promise. Of course, you can request future episodes in the comments as well. Look forward to coming episodes from Arctic Monkeys, Panic at the Disco, Queens of the Stone Age, and much more. Let's get right into it.
This is why we can't have nice things, darling. Because you break them, I have to take them away. This is why we can't have nice things.
A reputation precedes her. That's indeed quite true. Swift's private life was unfairly evaluated time and time again by the press. She felt it more so than others because she's arguably been the biggest star of the past decade, but still, she's not some random target. It happens to anyone with an audience. People turn your private life upside down and shake you like a piggy bank until it all comes spilling out. Granted, she's done much of the gushing over the years in her songwriting, but still, it's been a bit unfair. The point to be made here is that Taylor's life leading up to 2017 is what sparked the creation of Reputation. This is an album that feels as disjointed and targeted as the media that she ridicules, taking time to shine a light on all of the drama instead of just quote-unquote shaking it off and focusing on her music. Even though I list this as her worst album by an easy margin, I've come to respect her reasonings even if the quality of the music isn't exactly here. What would I do if I was in her position? Constantly taking hits from everyone, whether it be online, in the news, on the radio, whatever. She became a punching bag and shed the good girl look to punch back. It makes sense. Good for her for reclaiming what she felt was taken from her. Despite the kudos I have to give for that stuff, this album is still a mess as she tries to weave together her traditional songwriting style in with hints of revenge, gossip, and some rather obvious jabs. The Ed Sheeran and Future feature on In-Game is absurd and unnecessary. This is why we can't have nice things sounds like a teenage girl trying to spill the tea on social media, and even the nicest songs on this record often feel out of place due to the playlist-like vibe to the track listing. Really though, it's not all doom and gloom, even though we do have such misfires as So It Goes and the eye-roll worthy Don't Blame Me. In fact, there's some actual gems on Reputation. Delicate deserves every ounce of success it's seen. In fact, it's quickly risen to become one of my favorite songs by Taylor Swift. From its early vocoded vocals and the minimalistic electro-pop production, she owns this song. Gorgeous is infectious, but ever so slightly annoying with its bubblegum pop approach, but it's ultimately a pretty solid moment. King of My Heart is a blissful and effective ode to a lover that's easy to come back to often, and Getaway Car is damn near perfection as it tells a story of why a love was never going to last as both parties were running for various reasons. Reputation might have put up huge first week numbers, but I really do feel as if there's a reason why it didn't even come close to toppling the sales and streaming numbers of 1989. I am excited to see what Taylor brings to the table next, assuming she's gotten this out of her system. Next, please.
I was 16 when suddenly I wasn't that little girl you used to see, but your eyes still shined like pretty lights.
A debut album is normally one of two things: a bombastic, memorable sticking of the hypothetical landing in the world of music, or more commonly, a quest to find an artist or band sound that feels a little bit lackluster. Swift's self-titled album falls in the latter category, even if it is pretty enjoyable as a whole. Country music is of course where Swift got her start, and even though she's long since left the genre behind, it's kind of endearing to hear a more genuine girl on the brink of something huge. The staples Tim McGraw and Teardrops on My Guitar haven't aged all that well, feeling kinda like a friend that you might occasionally want to see, but frequent visits,
What time did you say your flight was?
Early traces of her songwriting style that relied heavily on relationships are found here, even if it does feel a bit more like a melodramatic teenager's musings on love. Oh, that's right, she was a teen then. Duh, John. Cold as You is a striking swing at a passive-aggressive emotion with a fiery hook. Picture to Burn is undeniably fun and the perfect song for an ex, and the simple sweetness and charm of Mary's song Oh My is a thing of beauty. Take it all with a grain of salt and enjoy the debut album of an artist that took over the world in the years that followed.
I'm gonna find someone someday who might actually treat me well. This is a big world, that was a small town. There in my rearview mirror, disappearing now.
Envisioning the best Taylor Swift records had me thinking Fearless would chart relatively high for me, but after some time with the album and the rest of her discography, I feel confident about this landing at number 4. Now let's not jump to any false conclusions. Fearless is a solid outing that saw a budding star taking notes from her debut and moving forward boldly. I suppose the main things that keep me from truly loving Fearless would be the overly simplistic songwriting that rehashes predictable themes and the middle-of-the-road instrumentation that's a little bit hard to classify. It's nowhere near as country-tinged as the self-titled before it, and it doesn't have a fourth of the charisma that Speak Now featured just 2 years later. But judging this album on its own, there's still a lot that is worth digging into. Tell Me Why rumbles down the country road to good results, the title track is a sing-along worthy jam, and White Horse cuts deep with breathtaking emotion and tension. Swift honed her voice well, working out a bit of that southern charm, all while maintaining a down-to-earth innocence with her image and output. You're Not Sorry still holds up as one of her best. Change is a roaring country rock tune that still closes out the traditional album nicely, and even though there's some duds in the track listing, it's not anything worth ranting about. Check out the album and decide for yourself, but I think the record is a pleasant but often forgettable experience.
So you were never a saint, and I love these shades of wrong. We learn to live with the pain. Mosaic broken hearts, but this love is brave and wild.
2012 was a year of many things, but two big ones stand out to me. It's the year that everyone decided dubstep was the best thing ever and that they should incorporate it into their music no matter how obnoxious it sounded. And also, it's the year that Taylor Swift fever truly spread to all corners of the earth. Her previous record Speak Now had shocked many as it sold just over 1 million copies in its first week, a feat that's hard to take lightly. As the promo for Red rolled out, it was clear she was ready to conquer more than just country music. Red hints at Taylor Swift's lust for something new, and who could blame her? There's only so much she could do with the genre, and a combination of country and pop made sense as a route to follow. She still handled the majority of the songwriting duties herself, enlisting Shellback and Max Martin for just a few moments and allowing her guest features to write with her as well. I was pleasantly surprised though as I played through the album for the first time in full in a long time, with many songs striking me as extremely well written and adventurous musically. Swift clearly focused in on the best instincts of her career to create lovely songs The Lucky One and Smoke Show all too well, which really draws an emotional response from the listener. The collaborations with Ed Sheeran on Everything Has Changed and Snow Patrol's Gary Lightbody on The Last Time are quite exciting too, with the Sheeran jam really just being a perfectly in sync, nearly flawless execution of an acoustic-based song. Age really does make Red look even more graceful than when it first appeared, showing a few signs of being weathered, but it's what gives the album its character. It's a lovely record that goes down smooth despite being a bit too long. I really don't even know what songs I'd cut. Perhaps We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together? I don't know. I don't hate that one nearly as much as I did when I first heard it. Maybe it shouldn't work as well as it does, but when you've got hidden gems like I Almost Do, the smile-wearing Stay, 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 Tender-Hearted Tale Begin Again, and of course the alluring guitar-driven State of Grace, you've got an album worth coming back to.
All I know is that you drove us off the road. Hey, all you had to do was stay. Had me in the palm of your hand. Then why'd you have to go and lock me out when I let you in?
Staying consistent while generating ungodly amounts of buzz is a tough task, but riding into the 1989 era, Swift showed us just how capable of living up to expectations she was. Of course, 1989 is a total departure from what fans knew her for up to that moment in time, but sprinkling waves of delectable synth pop in the air was something far too alluring for most to resist. Her vocal performances were tight and well done, she relied on her gut instinct as far as the topics of the song went, and the production from Jack Antonoff and others felt seamless and full of vibrance. This new richness and depth made her music desirable to listen to on a subliminal level, I would say, using catchy phrases and chants to get stuck inside your head endlessly. Shake It Off was a nightmare to me upon first listen, but I actually unironically enjoyed the song at this point. Blank Space was always intelligent from the get-go, using a chiming beat and steady programmed percussion to rattle its way into your subconscious. You're probably already humming it to yourself as I talk about the song. From the inclusive opener Welcome to New York to the intense and witty I Know Places that features one of Taylor's most impressive set of vocals, and of course the go-tos like Style and Out of the Woods, this album really still impresses and holds up as the years go by. Slightly obnoxious cuts like Bad Blood, or even a song that I kinda have mixed feelings on, How You Get the Girl, don't really bother me all that much if you listen to 1989 from front to back. Its good qualities extend far beyond what may be seen as negative, so take some time out to go back and revel in the glory of an unabashedly pop album that knows exactly what it's doing.
She's gonna find stealing other people's toys on the playground won't make you many friends. She should keep in mind, there is nothing I do better than revenge.
Speak Now was the last time for a myriad of things when it comes to Taylor Swift, so years later, it feels quite appropriate that the final two songs on her third LP are titled Last Kiss and Long Live. 2010 feels like a fading memory of a last kiss at this point, with the sting of the words long live being in memory of the Taylor that used to be. There's nothing wrong with her changing her image and doing whatever she wants to, it's her life, but there was still a good naivety about the superstar at this moment in her career. A wide-eyed hopefulness that wrote about everything from breakups to growing up. She was still an innocent in many ways, and that's only part of why this album goes down as her best. At an hour and 7 minutes, it is actually her longest record to date by about 3 minutes. It might sound odd that I criticized Red for running a little bit too long on time, but not this. What separates these two is just how the time is used. Speak Now actually doesn't feel like an hour-plus long experience. It just feels like a fantastic ride that you often don't want to end. It's like laughing, crying, and smiling with tears in your eyes as you listen to a friend swap life stories with you. There's a lot to love thrown into Speak Now, from the guitar-led, sinister grin-inducing Better Than Revenge to the searing burn Dear John, an epic track that lingers for over 6 wonderful minutes. Sentimental emotions flare up as Never Grow Up hits. The title track Speak Now gives a rather comedic take on interrupting a wedding to be with the person of your dreams, and Haunted will forever go down as underrated perfection, molding together a sweeping symphonic approach with a chilling story and vocal performance. The long tracks kick ass, there's very little filler if any at all, and revisiting this album is like catching lightning in a bottle. It's a beautiful moment in time that could never be replicated and might show a few signs of aging to some, but not to those that long for a simpler time that featured fantastic music such as this. Thanks a lot for tuning into another episode of Ranked. How would you rank the Taylor Swift studio albums? Let me know in the comments section down below, and of course leave suggestions for future episodes or other content you want right here on ARTV. Other than that, please hit that like button and consider supporting me on Patreon and help the videos like this that take a lot of time and effort to make. Just click the top link down below and you can help support on a monthly basis. A direct link to my Patreon page is over here in this annotation in the corner of the screen. Tap there if you would like to help support the channel, or you can tap right over here if you want to see the last episode of Ranked. Tap right over here if you want to see my top 10 favorite Taylor Swift songs, or all of these social medias that you see here can be found linked in the description down below. I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.